A cracker Jack Field, no doubt about that. Also joining the lineup, Wayne Russell, Ian Palmer and George Ayoub at the tail of the field. Going to be a tough run for the privateers. We've got some hot shots up the front. Glenn Seaton and Peter Brock sharing the front line. Jimmy Richards backing back into position. We'll keep an eye on that second row, and particularly Mark Scaife on the inside in car number 1. The field is set, big crowd, perfect weather, a wonderful day at Eastern Creek. The next round of the championship comes to us from Malala in South Australia in July, the 9th of July. Crowd to their feet in the grandstand. Lights about, ready to switch on. Racing, Alan Jones wins the start down the inside of Seaton. Seaton knows he's there, and look at the run down the inside into the first corner. They're trying to shut Scaife out, but they won't. The two Peter Jackson cars as they make their way into turn 1. Brock was awfully wide, and there was dust everywhere back behind them. Seaton has gone through to take the lead. Brocky, it's like the Melbourne Cup. He's going around the field, but he'll pay a penalty there as they make their way through turn number 2 and now work the back part of the course.
No use having the front row if you can't take off the line when it goes green, but Brock is recovering, but not in the position he'd like to be at the moment. Tough job to work harder now.
That was a sensational start. Not so good for David Attard, the privateer, standout privateer performer, in big trouble there. Plenty of damage to the front of the Alcare Commodore. Disappointing end of the day. Here's where the action is at the front of the grid, and Mark Scaife, what a tremendous start off the second row. Seaton in charge, but there's Scaife in second. Paul Romano caught up in that battle as well.
Isn't that a pity? Two outstanding privateers who have not put a scratch on their cars all season. They both go out in the first corner shunt. Bad luck. There's John Bower, who started the day as fast as qualifier yesterday and led the first race. It's going to get awfully tight. They all know he's suspect on tyres here today. Neil Crompton, there's, as you can see, John Bower behind to give him a little dab, dab, dab. Crompton can take that all afternoon, incidentally.
Fascinating shot from Racecam there. You couldn't get any closer. John Bower trying to make some progress here. Get back amongst the points. He's right up behind Neil Crompton. Good, strong run from Crompton in the car. Number 7, the Coca-Cola new car that came on stream at Winton. Doing a great job here. So let's look at the field. Seaton, there's Scaife in second position. Then there's Jones. Then Brock. We're watching Booth in 4th. There's Crompton in 5th. Johnson coming up behind him, or Bower probably was. Then Gardner and Johnson. There's Tony Longhurst, car 25, currently in 10th position.
Yes, holding his own there. He qualified just out of that position yesterday, but holding a good 10th here today. It's strange to say a good 10th, but believe me, no shame to be at the bottom end of the top 12 in this league.
Battle for 5th and 6th. We follow Neil Crompton in 5th. The man who is harassing him is John Bower in car number 18.
Not the position John likes. He's had a lot of fresh air in front of him over the previous heats this year, and able just to drive the car exactly the way he wants to. But when you've got a fellow in front of you making life difficult, it's hard to get your rhythm just right. Just when you want to put your foot down, the other fellow's just eased a second or two. But he's close to Neil this time round. Very close, I might add.
Not sure if Neil gave him a signal or went to adjust the rear view mirror there as they come across the start-finish line.
The crowd like it. They're up on their feet.
I tell you, there aren't too many John Bower fans here today. Every time a Commodore makes a move on a Ford...
Hello. They've just overtaken one of the Peter Jackson cars there coming through turn 1. One of them's in trouble. Whether that's Alan Jones or Glenn Seaton, I'm not sure at this stage. Look how close John Bower gets to the back of Crompton's car. You couldn't be any closer than be in front of him. All over the back of the Coca. There's that car 30.
Car 30. It's gone that deathly silent mode, which would indicate a little something.
Technical or mechanical
He's looking
failure.
at all his gauges, all his switches. He might have had a fuel pump problem or something electrical. Seems to be running still. Well, that's bad luck.
Critical stage of the championship for Glenn Seaton. He really needed every point he could get here to stay in the championship battle, and he's come up against it here in Heat 2.
So it's Winfield, number 1 in the lead for one of the very few times this year.
Well,
won the heat at Bathurst after Dick Johnson broke his wing, but Mark will be very pleased with this
I tell you, it's going to get awfully savage back behind him, though, because Alan Jones has moved up and Crompton has been now passed by John Bower in car number 18.
So Seaton slips out of first position. So Scaife, Jones, Brock, Crompton. John Bow just taken Crompton, so he'll move up to 4th position. Very tight in the top 5 as they head down toward turn 1.
Very disappointed. Glenn Seaton has just pulled into pit lane. You can see the frustration. No major mechanical problems. I'll tell you the problem. The gear stick snapped. It is plain and simple as that.
Can you believe that?
And a very disappointed Glenn Seaton walks back into the garages.
Nick Johnson, as we believe, has been calling his pit area, telling them that he's got a problem with his sight, that he's got his eyes filled up with water. He's having some trouble viewing it. I think we can see it.
He's probably taking some of that soot and smoke and leftovers from all the fellas in front of him, if the truth be known. But he is hurting.
Yeah. Trouble, you can see the tear ducts are working overtime there, and tears running down both his cheeks, and he's squinting and flicking his eyes. Pretty hard work. Pretty distracting too, I'd imagine, Al.
Very much so.
Escape car number 1 leads out of turn number 2 as we check out the Shell race score. Escape the leader, Alan Jones running in second. Brock, is he saving something for the end of the race? Johnny Bow is up to 4th, and Neil Crompton rounds out the 5. Back at the creek for a beat in a second.
Martinscape still leading nicely, handsomely, what to say, from Alan Jones.
Peter Brock currently in 3rd. And it's John Bow, some 7.6 seconds behind.
He's done a pretty fair job, John Bow, considering his tyres and so forth today, in this heat particularly.
Bad starting position by virtue of his finish in the first heat. It's the first time he wasn't on the front row of the grid. He'll be happy to get this.
Oh, we've got one in trouble, one of the